Welcome to Dragonfly Trading. My name is Carrie. I am a mentor in the crypto and Forex markets. I help new and struggling traders find success. Today's video is going to be on Bitcoin, ETH, the SPX, and we're going to take a look at XRP. Not financial advice, of course, just the way that I see the market. Before we get started, I have an announcement to make. I have opened up a new Discord that is like a memberships that you do on YouTube. Instead of subscribing to a membership, you will go into a Discord where you can chat, and you will also receive 2 live TA requests, live streams a month. Okay? Take a look at it, check it out. The link is in the description below. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start out with the SPX today. As you can see, I have drawn a channel here. I am under the impression, and my bias is that this wave is a third, this wave is a third, this is a fourth, this is a fourth, and we're pushing up for a fifth. The only thing that I would change in here is that this wave here could be a 1 and a 2, and this is 3 and 4. And that this wave to the upside is going to be a fifth wave that is either done or soon to be done. When you are looking for a peak for a wave 3, you look for the highest peak you have in RSI. Now, sometimes your wave 1 will put in a high peak also that can either be level with the third wave's peak, or the third wave is higher. So in this case, the way that this pushed out of the channel, my bias is this is a third and a fourth. Doing time analysis on these corrections, pulling from this low to this high, this correction met minimum time requirement. Pulling from this low to this high, this correction met minimum time requirements. The question here is are we going to make a bigger correction here for a higher degree fourth when this wave is confirmed complete? We would assume that the higher degree fourth would hold the prior degree fourth's territory or find support on top of it. But we won't know until we make the correction if it will break fourth wave territory, assuming that this structure could be done and ready to correct itself. Let's take a look at the last wave here to determine whether this wave could be over. The way that I am counting it is that this is a wave 1 and 2. All of this in the middle was a 3. Expanded flat for 4, and all of this is a wave 5, that it is either over or soon to be over. Taking a look at this last wave, if we come into the price territory of 35.88, we cannot look at this correction as a wave 4 and assume that we will push up for a wave 5. But what we can do is say that this is all a wave 1 and that we're coming down for a wave 2. Breaking the low of 21.91 would negate that this is a wave 2. So this last wave can push higher as a fifth wave, but it would be a while before we would know. There is 2 ideas about this correction. We have a complex correction coming down as 3 waves. The question is, are we going to rally higher here for an X or a B and then get this partner leg to the downside? Or are we creating the X and the B now and we've already pivoted to the downside to give this a partner leg now? These are the 2 options that are on the table. A lot of Elliottians are looking at this wave as a 5-wave move. My bias is that it's 3 waves. But the big question is this wave going to get bigger as a connector, allowing this wave to pivot higher to the upside, creating a higher XRP? So it all depends on what is going on in this wave right here that it will allow it to pivot upwards and give a higher wave. It would look something like this. We would pivot to the upside, giving this a big three-wave move, and then give this leg a partner, making the connector bigger. That's option 1. Not breaking 37.50, or this rally is done, and this is a 5-wave move, and it's ready to head down bearish as a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5, making the first leg of a partner leg. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. My bias right now is that we're making a complex leg. The question is, are we going to get this XRP that's going to try to push higher to 30K or possibly 40K? If it pushes higher to 30K or 40K, all that happens is this leg moves over and gives this leg a partner from either price territory. This is done now, and it's going to pivot to the downside, creating the partner leg now. The ABC to the downside count is on the table because we pivoted from a 4th wave territory. We would still need to come down to the 1.618 to complete this 3rd wave, bounce for another 4th wave, and down for a 5th, creating ABC. The diagonal is still on the table, but it is becoming less likely because of how congested it's getting in here. If we pivot to the downside in a 3-wave move, then it's still possible that this ending diagonal can happen, but it needs to continue downwards. No more moves to the upside. Let's talk about the lower time frames and the options we have available. And I will try to make this as easy as possible with the options that we have. We have this leg to the upside. There is several ways that this middle part could have happened. Let's talk about if it's a 3-wave move. If it's a 3-wave move in the middle, that opens up that this can be a W, an A, or a wave 1. Coming underneath 17,567 will invalidate the A and the wave 1. What needs to happen to keep those two options on the table, not breaking this low, is the first thing. Also, this needs to make a connector that does not break the low of 18,500. Then this leg needs to get a partner to the upside that will either turn into a Y or a big 3rd wave. The whole key to this being an A or a wave 1 is definitely not breaking this low and then not breaking this low and making this type of connector and pushing to the upside. There is another option on the table of how this could have moved differently, creating a 5-wave move that is the end of something, meaning a C wave. If this move came down in 5 waves and then we pivoted in 5 waves, it has to mean that this is the end of something and this is the start of something. And the only way that that can happen is by saying that this was ABC, this was A to the downside, zigzag to the upside with an ending diagonal for a B wave, and then coming down in 5 for a C. This creates a 3-wave A flat for our B wave, and then we've come up for C, hitting the minimum requirement of 618. This would be a bearish option, meaning that we are starting with 5 waves. We're going to get a pullback retracement and then head bearishly. The only other way that we can go higher with this count is if it plans to make the C wave higher, which is an option. Same rules apply that it cannot break this low. Let's take a look at ETH. It is the same exact thing, thinking that this is either done and we're going to get the partner leg now, or it's going to try to make a bigger connector where XRP will be here and then we'll get the partner leg. Let's take a look at the lower time frame. This move to the downside looks like a 5-wave move. Then we move to the upside in 3 waves. Now we have pivoted to the downside in a move that is too deep to be an ABC. This is confirming one or two things. Either just like Bitcoin, we need to make a rally here to create a partner leg for this 5-wave move. That creates a connector and then gives this plague a partner to rally higher here. But at this point, we will still be expecting what starts with 5 ends with 5 for this 5 waves to get a partner. Now, I know that seems a little confusing, but it's really not. There's only 2 options here. Either we make 5, 3, 5 for a connector for this leg to go higher, and then this leg comes, or we're going bearish and we're giving this leg a partner now that will either be ABC, or we're going bearish where it dives deep into a 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Breaking above this high will invalidate this being a 5-wave move, and we're going bearishly now. But either way, I expect a pullback, a retracement of this potential drop that we just had. XRP, I see this as a wave 1 and a wave 2. This, to me, is an expanding diagonal for a wave 1. Pullback for a wave 2. The question is, we have to stay above this low if we want this to be a wave 1. If we break it, what happens is this becomes 3. This will end up being 3. And then we are making 3 over here, something like that. Staying above this low will still hold the expanding diagonal potential 1 and a 2. This move to the upside was very complex. 3, 3, 3. If we have ended this move to the upside and we are not going to go any higher, then this is a leading diagonal. Otherwise, it's making a connector here of 3, potentially 3 to the upside, and then a downward move to make a connector to give this leg a partner. That is one way that we can move to the upside. Can get a little more complex where it makes a connector here like this, Then it gives this leg a partner. And then at that point, we can either move bearishly or it tries to climb higher complex. But this down here in XRP is very, very corrective. It is more leaning towards the bearish option. I hope you enjoyed this video. Think about joining the new membership plan, and I will see you in the next one.